Hey, welcome back. If you've been struggling to land a job or a freelance gig in this tough market, this video is for you. I recently got a DM from someone saying, "Hey Phil, I've been struggling with finding a job in the creative industry. How can I improve my chances of landing a role?" This video is going to give you some of those answers. Now, I totally get it. The job market right now, especially if you're mid to late career, can feel really daunting. But here's the thing, it's not hopeless, and with the right strategies, you can set yourself up for success. Now, today, I'm going to walk you through 5 actionable tips that have worked for me and many others I've coached and mentored. And even if you're not in design, these are transferable tips that can also help you break into new and adjacent industries, build connections, and ultimately land the role you've been striving for. Okay, let's get into it. Now, number 1, tailor your resume. The first thing you need to do is update and improve your CV. I can't emphasize this enough. A generic resume just won't cut it in this job market. So look closely at the job description of the position that you're applying for and the list of skills they're looking for. Now, this is a gold mine of the words and the phrases that you need to use in your resume. Remember, 9 times out of 10, your resume is being vetted initially by the ATS, which is the Applicant Tracking System, which is a robot that's designed to weed out all but the most qualified candidates. And if your resume doesn't contain a lot of the keywords that are in the actual job description, then chances are you aren't even going to make the first cut. So first, format your resume using the ATS Resume Standard. Just Google it, ATS Resume Standard, and then follow the directions exactly. It's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be highly designed, but it's going to get your resume past the robots, which is the point. And then edit your resume so it includes a number of the keywords in the job description. And this is the beauty of digital resumes, because you can actually change your resume for every job that you apply for, especially the most important ones that you really want. You want to make sure that you're using those keywords in your resume. So if you're a creative professional, think about the skills and the achievements that directly apply to the roles that you're applying for. For example, if you're applying for a senior graphic designer position, don't list just every design job you've ever had. Sure, highlight your design capabilities, but also include any leadership level opportunities you've had, or opportunities in creative direction or project management, or how you've spearheaded a successful campaign. And if you can, try to quantify your achievements. Maybe it's increasing a brand engagement by 25% through a visual rebrand, or maybe it's cutting design studio development time by 40% with more efficient workflows. Maybe it's increasing the studio output while also increasing design approvals or adoption rates, because real numbers help you stand out in a sea of resumes. And number 2, optimize your LinkedIn profile. You want to take a hard look at your LinkedIn profile. I can't tell you how many creatives I see who don't treat LinkedIn like a professional portfolio, which it can be if you leverage its functionality. First, let's talk about your headline. That's the content that comes right after your name and usually lists your job title or your job description. Now, this is the most indexed section of LinkedIn for metadata. So when clients are searching for a specific service provider, applicant for a position, this is information that's captured by LinkedIn's SEO algorithms to be served up in search. So maximize this by listing as many of your job titles and core capabilities as will fit in that section. You want to be searchable, so capture keywords that people and recruiters and hiring managers are going to be searching for. You can use up to 220 characters in that section, and I suggest you use as many as possible. Now let's talk about the banner image. Think of the banner image like a giant billboard to promote yourself. I can't tell you how many people I see with just some landscape photo or some generic image in the back on their banner image. You want to feature work in your portfolio if you can, or to promote your website or content or courses or videos or podcasts that you have. Treat it like a big billboard on a highway, which is what it is. And make sure that you're adding calls to action to the banner, telling people exactly what it is that you want them to do. Now let's talk about the About section. This is the second most heavily indexed part of LinkedIn after the title and the headline that's after your name. You have about 2,000 characters in this section, and I suggest again that you try to use all of them. Now, in the intro to the About section, there's a couple lines, and you have 220 characters on desktop and 92 on mobile before anyone has to say click more to read the whole About section. So make sure to write something really catchy. That way people want to keep reading and are more likely to click see more. Make your About section concise, but also a really compelling narrative of who you are, what you've done, and how you can solve problems for companies that you want to work for or have worked for. Now, I did a really great video called LinkedIn Power Tips, how to build an incredible profile and get clients. And that video goes really deep into even more tactics that you can use to bump up your LinkedIn profile. And so the link to that video is in the description, and I highly recommend that you check it out. Now, number 3 is reach out to hiring managers. Many designers use tools like Apollo and LinkedIn Sales Navigator to find and contact hiring managers or people who are in leadership roles that can get your resume onto the desk of the hiring manager for the role that you're applying for. So for creatives, that might mean connecting with creative directors or heads of marketing or agency leads at your dream company. Now, don't just hit connect and hope for the best. You want to make sure that you personalize a message. Let them know why you're reaching out and how you admire their work or their company culture. And then share a quick line about what you can do and what you bring to the table. Trust me, this little personal touch will go a long way for you getting noticed. Now, breaking into a new field or finding a job can be a really lonely process, especially when you're doing it mid-career, when things feel like they should be a little more stable. But I've learned that having a community to support you through this makes all the difference in helping you stay motivated and focused. And that's why I created the Bonfire Community, which is my membership community for creative pros. And it's a place where we share exactly those kinds of strategies. We help each other overcome roadblocks and grow in our careers. And whether you're looking for support for your job search, or you need advice on navigating client relationships, or you just want to be part of a group that understands the unique challenges that we face in the creative industry, Bonfire might be a perfect fit for you. It's a really small group of pros who are serious about growth and ready to take their careers to the next level. And we meet regularly to exchange ideas and share wins and work through real problems together. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, I want you to go to philipvandusen.com/bonfire and you can learn more about it. And I'd love to see you as a member of Bonfire. Okay, now, number 4, build your network. Networking is probably one of the most underrated but powerful tools you have. And when I was breaking into the creative industry, in my case, the apparel industry, I made it a point to connect with people at companies that I admire. And one easy way to do this is to join your local AIGA group, which is the American Institute of Graphic Artists, and they have local offices in many big cities in the United States. They have meetups and events where you can meet other creatives and also people who are in higher up leadership roles, which are the people who tend to do the hiring. And you never know who you're going to meet and how that connection might benefit you down the road. Now, I can't stress this enough. You got to get out there, virtually or in person, whether it's through LinkedIn or creative communities or industry events and conferences. You need to attend webinars and engage with content creators and comment on their posts. And I'm not talking about just a thumbs up or a like. I mean a thoughtful comment, one that asks a question or starts a true conversation. You never know where a simple conversation might lead you. Sometimes opportunities come from the most unexpected connections. And number 5 is practice interviewing skills. Once you've got your foot in the door, you really have to nail that all-important interview. You want to practice your answers and rehearse your success stories. Get comfortable speaking about your experience confidently. Now, as a creative, think of examples where you solved a tricky design problem, or you managed a cross-functional team, or you increased some brand visibility in some way. The more you practice, the smoother you're going to be. And the one thing I recommend you do is practice talking about your portfolio from a strategic point of view and not just an aesthetic one. Describe what the goal of the design was, what action it was supposed to elicit, and who the target audience was, including some context like referencing the competitive environment that the company was operating in or how your creative work stood out. Shows you think about things in terms of business applications and implications of your work, which is a sure way to impress the person who's interviewing you. Now, I want to give you one real power tip, and that is to make sure to do your homework on the company that you're interviewing with. Research them, read current news stories about them, try to understand the company culture as best as you can. You might even want to connect with other creatives who work there to see if you can get the inside scoop of what it's like to work there. And I can tell you from the experience of interviewing over 1,000 designers in my career, in my 30 years, there's no quicker way to bomb an interview than to show that you haven't done your homework by not understanding the company's industry or the competition or the product lines or the locations, etc. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. Number one, tailor your resume. Make it specific, quantify your results, and highlight the most relevant skills, and make sure to format it to the ATS standards. Number two, optimize your LinkedIn profile. Treat it like a portfolio. Polish your headline. Polish your about section. Number three, reach out to hiring managers and make connections with people in leadership roles at the companies that you're targeting. Number four, build your network. Build those relationships in real life, in conferences and meetups by engaging in online communities and events. And number five, practice your interviewing skills. Be prepared to tell success stories that showcase your value and your understanding of the business results that were the goal of your work. Now, I know sometimes it may feel like the odds are all stacked against you, especially in today's market, but I don't let that hold you back. It's all about perseverance and refining your approach and staying open to opportunities that align with your strengths. I got to tell you, you got this, really. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button and bang that notifications bell so you can get alerted when I post a new video or when I go live. And if you're interested or curious about the Bonfire Mastermind community, just go to philipvandusen.com/bonfire and you can learn more. And so that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay creative. Good luck with that job search, and I'll see you in the next one.